have no idea what we're talking about, so I don't know what this green and...
Well, we are
Sorry.
now on the air. And
Yes,
and we have someone who said they don't know what we're talking about. But you know, that's not far off from where we are. We do know that this is the weekly hangout for the Wisdom Factory community. And we had a scheduled topic, which was at first the orange level of development. And then we corrected that, realizing, no, we did that last week.
No, the week before.
Yeah, the week before.
Mm-hmm.
Corrections upon corrections.
Yeah.
And then we said, oh, it's going to be about the green level of development. And then we were sitting here chatting with Margarita just before we went live and decided we could talk about the marketing at different levels of development. What we need. Oh.
Margarita says we need earbuds, and we have to share the earbud.
Yeah. There's only one place to plug them in.
Yeah.
So we each have one ear. Do not wiggle this arm, or it all falls apart. So we have a rather informal approach because this is just sort of among community members.
Wait a minute. Margarita says something. What did you say?
You know, if you go into the marketing of it, you can find some sellers with plugs and 2 earbuds going in the same plug.
I know we had that, but we have sort of lost it, and we haven't been in the shop yet where we could rebuy it, and we, you know, it's 30 kilometers away, so.
Yeah, we have to go to the big city.
And we were so spoiled because so far. We never had an echo on our side for a year and a half, and now the last 4 times, 5 times. Do you get it?
It just doesn't fit in my ear. It just won't.
Well, you just have to come closer together. Isn't this about community?
We have to get this together.
It's about community.
We have to sit here together. Yeah, all right. Well, all right. So it's too hot for this.
Yeah, it's hot. How is it in Canada? You 2 Canadian people.
It's 13 degrees here.
Oh,
it's probably. I haven't looked. I just, if I can step outside wearing like just a shirtless, a sleeveless shirt, I'm good. I'm good. So it's summertime. It doesn't matter. It's sandals and sleeveless shirts.
Yeah, we have 37 or something, and we are quite hot here.
My.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really. So we need to present you. Maybe you put also your lower third on. There is Margarita, who has attended us very often, and we are in continuous private and public conversation. Thank you that you are here again, Margarita. And then there is Nicole de Vac, and she is the first time here. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been here.
No, I would like you to say, whoever comes first, say some words about themselves. I mean, I've mentioned that you're in Canada. That's one thing. What else would you like to say?
Go, Margarita.
Well, I'm a little nut from Canada, born in Sweden, and I love to explore all the rooms in my mind. And I'm so grateful for Heidi and Mark, who is bringing me in as a newbie to these incredibly interesting discussions with both Heidi and Mark and their cat.
The kitty. Yeah, the kitties. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Filippo.
Yeah, Filippo, the worn-out warrior who has a little bit of problems. Yeah. Anyway, good. To you. You want to show, Philip?
Well,
you could have done it just with a camera.
I could.
Let me do it later. Maybe he walks by.
Maybe I'll walk across the keyboard.
Okay.
That's funny. So that's I'm not too far from Margarita, actually. I'm in the Ottawa area, just maybe 3 hours away from where Margarita is. And well, I've been looking at this community hangout for a little while, and I've never been able to be on at the same time. So today, I I appreciate Heidi. Mark, I'm getting to know as I'm listening to you and watching you online all the time. And I just love the community aspect of being online. So that's kind of why I just joined in today and just wanted to sit in and have a conversation about community.
Good.
About community.
And we have for sure Tom in the audience. He said, hello, it's cooler today in Toronto, 18. Oh, nice and cool. I mean, 18 for me, it's too cool. But 37, it's really beginning to be a little bit too hot.
Well, all three people are in the same province.
Yeah.
Though it's a really big province.
Canadians unite.
So, Nicole, you have followed a little bit what we were doing. We are trying to talk about integral theory brought down to earth. And that's all the shows we are doing with people who are working inside the integral mindset. And we too, and we want to explore in this community gathering, there are people who have done the superhuman operating system. It sounds extreme. The course of Ken Wilber, and where all these concepts are presented, and we want to talk about them, but not in a very theoretical way, but in a way, what has it to do with ourselves? And so far, we talked about the level, what we call blue level, what Ken Wilber calls amber level. This is the level of conformity. Of rules, of community also, with very strict rules. And then we have talked already about the orange level of... it didn't begin right at the beginning. We should do that another time, because there are other three levels underneath. But the orange level is the one of going out and see what I can do, where the rationality comes in, and where technology...
Science, rules, industrialism, all the stuff of the modern age.
And we had a very interesting talk with another Canadian, Marie Cornelier. And she made very clear that this level of development must be addressed in a different way for women and men. And we found out that as integral theory is mainly brought forward by men, at least at the beginning. There are women in now quite a bit, but more the ones who are attracted by theory, so by the masculine way of seeing the world. Here's a bit of Kitty, see?
Just a bit.
Yeah, and that the feminine way is a different one, and that we are called not to wait that men offer us or develop a feminine way for us, but we are called to do it ourselves. And this is also a part of...
Why don't you just do it the way we did it? We've done such a good job of it.
Yes, you have.
Notice the shape the world's in?
You have done a very good job. We have all this technology, everything, it's wonderful, but we are sort of killing ourselves. It's the same energy which you have brought forth. So we need to balance
You have your choice, yes.
Yeah, and this was very nice when she brought it up, that for... Now I hear an echo. How is that possible? That for women have other tasks to do to go up to the next level. Anyway, shall we talk about still this orange level and about marketing, Margarita and Nicole? Is it okay for you?
Sure. Can I start with one observation then?
You can start with one observation.
Well, a while ago, Heidi kind of stumbled over the name of this offering of Ken Wilber, this course, the Superhuman Operating System. And that in itself tells you we're talking to orange people. We are talking in superlatives. We're talking about push marketing. Not that the message of SHOS is actually orange in itself. It is integral. But it's being directed to people who respond in a certain way to self-improvement, to getting ahead in the world, to achieving, to becoming better and better. And this is typically the orange level of development, the modern age.
Yeah, and I would like to add that when we are in a higher level, and for instance in the green level, which we wanted to talk about today, we often reject marketing. We reject to offer what we have, and we don't want to be too pushy and so on. And many spiritual people who, think they are spiritual, they have that. They have this as a shadow, that they don't want to make publicity for themselves, that they don't want money to earn money because it's somehow dirty or something like this. And I think Ken Wilber was a long time in this mindset that he just didn't care about money, And now there are other people who have taken it over, and they do it in an orange way. And if you want to address new people, you probably need to do it in a way that people can notice it. Because I have also learned when I did the feminine power training that when you don't talk what you have to offer, how can people find you? You are depriving the people of the possibility to work with you.
So you have to reach them in a way that they will listen.
Yeah.
Notice. But we don't need to do all the talking. This is a community.
Yes, but it was the introduction. Come on.
Oh.
Okay, I give over to you.
Yeah.
But I hear an echo. I don't know if you hear it, even in the earbuds. This is strange. Who?
Is it from my end?
I don't know where it is. Maybe one at a time is mutes themselves, and then it's when I'm speaking I hear the echo. Maybe Margarita, mute yourself first. Oh no, this is Nicole has muted herself. I don't hear it now. So maybe it's on your end, Nicole.
Well, what can she do?
I don't know what you can do.
Is it back when I unmute it?
Let me speak. It's,
I don't hear it now.
I don't hear it. So Margarita, unmute yourself again. Can you echo? Okay. No. Yeah, I do hear it again. So I don't know. We are best to mute ourselves when we don't speak. Okay. I give over to one of you.
Well, I can start maybe because I had this case story here with a text and a newsletter or something like that I was looking at and then trying to discern what text should go in there and what kind of the actual words. I was most watching the words, right? And then I came up with some suggestion, and I sent it to you, Heidi, and then she hasn't read it yet completely, but it's very much close to what you're saying with the push marketing. From my point of view, I think that if you have something that somebody is very interested in, all you have to do is to use the words that the people are attracted to and resonate with. Let's say we want to be relaxed, or we want to have fun, and we want to have less stress. Anything that person would want would actually be attracted to see those words inside of a message that's been sent out. And so that in mind, what really is the category that these people are in who I'm going to attract by using these words when they react to these words? So that's maybe not same level as I am, or I'm going to reach somebody that's a higher level than me. I don't know. What do you say about that?
I say in this case, this specific newsletter goes to the wisdom factory people, of whom many are mentally oriented. So, but generally you are right. And it's nice that Lawrence is here, because we had a discussion before about how to attract people, what wordings to write. It is about his course, which he is offering in for August. And I try to interfere and say, don't write so long and complicated words. They must be more immediate and more. So, Margarita, I think you need to give him the feedback.
Well, it's reasonable here. I think that my white box is stuck here. Okay. I can't get out of the white box. I don't know, because I'm a manager part of there, right? So I'm not screwing something up. Well, in essence, depending on the person that you want to attract to a course or something that you're offering, I think that we as marketers or people who want to provide our services, we have to study the people that we want to attract. And if they do not have the same expertise as we have, let's say, and they want to improve it, we have to come to their level and speak with the words that they use in order to attract them. I want to see how you want to answer about that, Lawrence.
Okay, I'll describe how I go about composing. Sometimes I start out with a series of words that I've chosen, and then what I do is I feel the intent of those words, and I throw out the words. And from the intent, I then come up with a way of saying it that is much better. It goes in, and it's feelable. Did that come through clearly?
Yeah, it's clear, but that maybe is, I don't know. I mean, you're an amazing person, so I'm not saying anything against you, because I'm an admirer of your work. But I found for myself, if I do this, I have this intention, and then I miss something in there, then people don't look at it. They just don't look at it. It's too much text. Sometimes you can write just 3 lines, and you get much more effect from that.
Well, that's what I prefer.
And I wanted to add a little bit. You say it is feelable, but it's probably feelable for you. But is it feelable also for the others?
I can't concern myself with that. I have to maintain integrity first. Then, the force of my intent, that is to say, what I feel I want to have happen, comes through. I can't read the mind of the vast variety of people I'm speaking to. I can only generate a communication that's authentic. If it's authentic and they tune in on it, they're going to feel it. If I lose my authenticity and I try to manipulate the situation by choosing buzzwords, there's no power in my communication anymore without the authenticity. So I'm not willing to sacrifice authenticity for technique.
If
I can do both, it's better.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I hear you, but I would like to give it over to Margarita, because I think she has the most experience with all that, and she is already successful in attracting clients into her courses, and that's what you want to do, no? You want to have groups of people, and even if it's a free course, but you want to have people to come, and so we need to find a way to to address them, to make them curious about. Yeah. So, Margarita, what would you say?
Well, I used to work in a multinational company in Sweden for over a decade. And so I got sort of, from 22 years old to 33 years old, I was there. And then I came to Canada, right? So I have that background for the American, the big organization with marketing and selling is everything. Even though I think that company was very integrated and honest in some way, how much honesty such a company can have. But they took care of the employees, but there was strict policies of everything, and you had to have everything approved or whatever. And of course, I am a rebel, right? So I try everything to find loopholes so that I could get what I wanted. Let's say, when you're younger, you don't think so much about other people, right? And I succeeded with that quite well until I decided to quit when I came to Canada. And so I have this mindset from the beginning in marketing about how you're going to choose a client. So Lawrence, do you know exactly what people you want to attract to your courses? Because if you know that, you can listen to them and hear, and you probably already have done that. And that's not something that one is not authentic, because in any marketing message, you always have to be authentic with yourself. Otherwise, it's just almost criminal, right? It's just persuasion and for a very low intention. So I think that one should be extremely transparent. I mean, for example, we had a show last week here with Andrea Beltrami, and she said, even though she had her style, she said she's completely transparent on what it is and what she's doing and owning the stuff that they're doing and stuff like that. And so I think that's also part of integrity. But if we want to really reach a great number of people, all marketing gurus says you have to study them. You have to see what their language is, and then see, because you're already there at your level, right? They are not there yet at your level, because then they won't need you, right? If they need you and your services, you are above them, let's say. You know more how to solve their problems. And if you can't talk to them with the words they're using, because, of course, I speak in Swedish in the beginning, right? I'm Swedish. And so I don't relate to certain words that is used in English. I don't have a relationship to that. So I have to learn that. Does that make sense to you?
Of course. And I do use language according to the listener. But what you said was something different. You were saying, you and Heidi were saying, the language of the people who you want to have come or who are coming. And unless I already have a personal relationship with them, I don't know what their language is, because I haven't heard them speak. So I'm imagining what that might be in them. I'm imagining the ideal student or client. And that imagination comes from where? It comes from here, right? So right away, I'm contained within my familiar experience.
Right.
I can reach out through that. I can listen to how people talk and adapt my language to theirs, which I do. Once I've heard them speak or I know their background, I can use their language.
Lawrence, it is exactly what we do when we are private coaches. We listen into the people with whom we speak, and then we can adapt. And here you want to go online, and you want to go, what did you say, 10,000 of people?
100,000.
100,000,
Yes.
Even, yeah, okay. So we really need to learn something, and I'm far from being very experienced. I have posted for the listeners and also for you the landing page which I have created in the last few days, and I would like you to bring it up and have a feedback. Also, Nicole, you haven't heard anything from him yet. So what would you suggest? And the people in the comment stream, please write your comments. Is this a good way of doing things? Is it not? What would you think? I mean, we are talking about Orange level of development. We need to bring our message out in some way.
And Orange people have money. Yeah.
People want also money.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
But not necessarily. In this case, it's about just bringing out the
Of
message.
course.
But we have to find a way
Mhm.
to get out
Orange
into the
people
world.
have juice.
Juice. Okay.
Everybody understands what I meant by that.
Yeah, I understood it. Did other people understand what he meant by orange people
I
have
didn't
juice?
hear it.
Oh, I
you
said
hear it?
orange people have juice,
Hmm.
Okay.
right?
Orange juice?
That's right.
Now you're communicating.
When you squeeze an orange, you'll get the juice.
You
All right.
squeeze the orange, you get the juice. That's right.
Now, I saw Heidi's link, and I was afraid to click it because I thought it might take me away from the window of this Hangout.
All right.
Mhm.
So I didn't click on it. I saw it. I tried to right-click and see if I could open it in a separate tab, and there was no option. So I
Oh.
let it pass.
Okay. But you have your computer going. Congratulations.
I
That's
found
good.
a way. I did.
Great.
This is also orange capacities.
Yes, right.
Nothing
Thank
like
you, Orange. Yes.
That's right. Remember,
Mhm.
we integral types have access to all of the faculties,
Yes. Mhm.
right, including orangeness, which is the technological.
And
Right.
including
Even-
orange juiceness.
And
Yes.
even if we still have to learn and catch up with many of the lower levels.
Catch up to the lower levels. What
Well,
did
that's
you,
we have.
Clean
Let's
up. Clean up.
you know, we're leaving Nicole out of this conversation. She must
Okay.
wonder, what the hell are we doing?
I wanted to ask her,
Mhm.
and I think we mute ourselves and give her the platform.
Just
Okay?
whatever you like.
Well, I'm just enjoying the conversation. There's definitely, I don't know about the colors. I'm taking notes as I'm listening because I loved what Lawrence was saying about having that authentic voice, and I agree with a lot of what he was saying, because I think when we're marketing, we often, and Margarita as well was bringing in good points as well, because she was saying, you have to talk to them in a way that they'll understand. But what I hear about is marketing to the people. And for me, if I'm going to market to the people, I'm going to market to one person. And I'm going to talk to that one person because I find that the subjects that I'm attracted to, or the things that I listen to, is when somebody seems to be speaking to me. When I'm reading something and it's addressed to me. When it's more of a generic message in marketing, I find I lose interest because it's addressed to many people. So that's something that in marketing, I don't know, I want to feel like it's talking to one person in particular. So when I'm writing, because I write blogs or whatever, and that's what I'm concentrating on, is I do like a lot like Lawrence, is I write my post and I work on it. I sit with it and I feel into it, and it's not something that I just write quickly and then push it out there. It usually takes me a few days at least, if not sometimes a week, to put out an article or a post, because I find that it's important to talk to one person. So it's about getting to the right person. Maybe I'm not in the same conversation as you guys about the marketing in orange and green and those colors, because I'm definitely, now you've piqued my interest with that. But for me, marketing has to be done to one person, and every single person getting the message is going to feel like it's addressed to them.
That's definitely the actual ultimate reason why we need to study the person's language and what they want. And of course, you're completely right, because you want to. I'm going to talk to you. I'm not talking to, like, standing on a podium screaming out to the crowd. I'm talking to that person who is going to become my client.
And that's why when I write, I always keep in mind one person. And it's various people. Sometimes I'll write a portion of what I'm writing is addressed to this one person, and then but there's always one person in my mind when I'm writing something. Every single paragraph of what is written is addressed to one person, so that it feels like I'm talking to one person. So that's my input. I don't know. I'd love to hear your comments as well. And thanks, Margarita.
Yeah. Well, I have an avatar on my desktop when I'm writing. It's a photo of a person, and she has a name, and that's my avatar. She looks like that. She's an introvert. She is very intelligent. She is maybe stressed. She is having some problem, but she's definitely not a mental case. And she is coping so, but sometimes it takes overwhelm and stress in her life. And she is not the type who is generally asking for help. She's like stoic, and then she builds up something like that, and then in the end, this person comes out, and then I have to develop the relationship with that person so that when they're ready to ask, I'm here. Then they know exactly, oh, I'm going to go to her. I'm going to go to that person, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's something that is very, very important. So I don't know, for you, Lawrence, do you have such a customer or a participant avatar that you can actually have a photograph of them? You know what they're thinking, how they're thinking, and what the problems they have.
My creative work comes from a mysterious source. Why is it mysterious? Because it's as if it's being given to me, and I'm carrying it to others. Okay, so I am not the origin, I'm the channel, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
The creative impulses come to me, and I pass them on. And just to touch on something that Nicole said, usually when I write a piece, I write it almost to finished form in one shot. And that's because of this creative process that works through me. I write it, then I go back and I tweak it here and there, usually. I don't have an avatar or a particular person I'm writing to. I have an intention that I'm writing to. Okay? When you talk about a given person, really what you're talking to is, say in the case of Margarita's avatar, this introverted person. There's a feel to that person. It's not a bunch of words she's writing to. She's writing to a feeling, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's how it is. And that's how it is when I create. I'm writing to a feeling. So say, Mark, you heard my piece on here-ness, that video that I did.
Uh-huh.
And that came through in one shot. I turned on the microphone and I did it. Then I came back and I listened to it once. And I found that there was a little tweaking I could do, but it was basically done. It had integrity from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If I do marketing, and by the way, that's the hardest thing for me. If you ever visit my website or read my blog, you'll see a vast variety of voices present in different writings of mine. Some are whimsical and humorous. Others are penetrating. Some are fierce. It's because every creative work is an original work coming from mysterious source. So it has a living feeling to it. It has a cohesiveness or a holding togetherness of it. It doesn't feel fragmented. It feels like a wholeness. So my work comes to me through those writings. They're not marketing efforts. They're communication efforts. The communication isn't, I want you as my client. The communication is generally, there's this situation going on, and you may feel lost in the midst of it. Here are some touch points that can help bring clarity to you. That's a way of describing something. I've never put it into words quite that way, but it's an intention that's being generated in me. And it has a feel to it. And it works. It works for the people who are enough in tune with the way I operate, or are close enough to the way I operate, that they can hear what I'm saying and I can be of service to them.
And I think you're right, Lawrence, because we know you and your practices quite a bit, and I can understand it, but I'm always a little bit in preoccupation that let's say other people can't when they have never heard about what you are doing. That it's I find it complicated a little bit. But I want to bring up the comment of Tom. And he says, I think Lawrence, you can
Sure.
read.
Tom says, I think Lawrence's approach makes a lot of sense. A juicy orange approach. But what about the discussion about green level of functioning? As far as marketing goes, I think emails are oversaturated with too many offers. It's easy to get lost in the flood of oversupply.
Exactly, that's what Margarita said. My newsletter would be too many things in.
Yeah.
5 things were in.
Boom.
So,
Well, I would.
green level, we sort of skipped that because
We got stuck on orange again.
because I had announced on orange and it was my error. And then I thought, oh no, we are in green, and now we come back because of this situation. But I tried to help Lawrence to set up this free course he's offering with my very little experience in marketing, and I am in the same situation that I really don't know how it works. I have done some courses, but there's this strange, and this is a green level thing, aversion against marketing and bringing yourself out. And Margarita is a little ahead of that. And I hear also Nicole has a different confidence in how to do things. So it came up just now, half an hour before we began, and that's why we are talking about that here and having an example. If you have clicked on this link, you see what I mean. I was sort of struggling. The first time I'm using Webinar Jam, we are doing tryout sessions all the time and try to figure out how things work. And then the wordings, what bullet points. Now I see that the bullet points are tiny. The points themselves are like this, and then the text is tiny. How can you change it? And all these things, which are part of figuring out how to do things. Yeah, Margarita, take over.
Yeah, that's 2 things. The first thing I want to say to Lawrence is that mystical place is not really foreign to most people who tunes in. And as a matter of fact, I actually understand everything you say. I don't remember everything, but I resonate right into my brain. I can hear it. I get it. I get it right away for most of what you say. I'm not necessarily remembering it, but that's why I am part of your intention. It's the field. It's the field of these intentions. So I understand about that. And so you want something, then you put that intention out, and then the people come. But the problem is, I think, to translate the feeling into the actual web pages, sign-up links, connection points to other people who have opinions about it. The weather, I don't know. And I think Nicole would agree with me that she also is very intuitive and sensitive, and basically a healer also, I think. And so there is, I think we all are that here. So the second point, what was I going to say, is remember that if you had a fear of clicking the link, Lawrence. You said that. You didn't want to click the link because a reason. Oh, it couldn't open because I was there and I'm on a hangout and I wanted to. You didn't click the link for whatever reason. You see? Like that reason, if not, you're not going to click the link, then you don't click the link. And that's final, right? You can maybe click a link later when you're not on a hangout. So that's also timing. It's timing when you send it and how you send it. And you probably will go back to that link and test it later because it's your event, right? That's a very great motivation for actually clicking the link. But most people I have encountered, unless the link is right on the top, there is the right words. And here is what you learn. 1, 2, 3. Very 3 short words. Oh yeah, I'm in. And then they click on it. So then we have the other scenario. How many of those shows up to your event? And what I was going to say is, if you can't give anything free away and attract somebody, you can't sell it. If your event is not attended when it's free, you will not attract people to it because they don't want to come because you haven't attracted them. So that's something to consider.
Okay. Well, I've been sitting here rather quiet and rather fascinated listening to people talk, and almost at a level that I don't feel I'm quite at. I tend to try to take a developmental look at these things, a historical look at these things, and maybe it's of some help, maybe not. But I recall several years ago, back in the mid-2000s, that Wilbur was expressing surprise that his level by level approach to marketing that he described, not to marketing but just to the kinds of people at different levels, was being taken over by marketing people who were busy selling soap to to purple and red and orange and green people, and they were skillful at directing campaigns at all of these different levels, and so this was an aspect that he'd never thought of course, when he developed his series, and I was hoping, that we might get into some talk about how to talk to people at these different levels, and here we're talking about talking to individuals, which is not contrary to talking to people at certain levels, because we have a kind of person developed to a certain level in mind that we're writing to and that we're writing from. So it's not exactly a contradiction. But we haven't talked about green very much.
No. But I would like in this connection ask Lawrence, what do you think, what level of development in this green, red, orange, whatever colors, would you think that people are most attracted to, or it's most beneficial, what you are doing?
How helpful that you brought it up that way, because I've been itching to address it. First, I want to get back to this comment about the green that the fellow, I don't remember his name, that we displayed there. So I want to talk about green.
It's Tom.
Tom. Hello, Tom, out there where I can't see you. So, what are the characteristics of green? Well, first thing is green is a dissolution stage. Green is a stage where you're not supposed to hierarchically rank people. Everybody is supposed to be nice, and everybody is supposed to be accepting, non-judgmental. And the liability, the problem that green runs into is what in Wilber's camp they call aperspectival madness. I'm going to correct that in a moment, but I first want to take it the way they gave it to us. A means without, perspectival means having a perspective, and madness means, in effect, it's disorientation. The green people are weak in discrimination. In fact, discrimination is a bad word to green. They even cry out, "That's discrimination!" You know what? Discrimination is necessary, and the problem that green encounters is in part the result of their unwillingness to discriminate for fear of hurting someone's feelings. So now getting back to the question as Heidi just posed it, in terms of how the work I'm developing would appeal to different memes, the green meme, if they're ready to grow beyond it, I can say to them something along the lines of, are you feeling lost? Are you feeling lost in your life? Are you having trouble getting oriented, getting results in your life? Okay? This is the primary quality I see among the green crowd here in Santa Fe. They are, not one of them excels. Not one. They are mediocre people. Why? Because they're supposed to accept everything the way it is without criticism, and for that matter, without calling for an upgrade. Green is, as I said, a transition point. It's the necessary stage where people lose the vestiges. Let me say it differently. They lose or let go of the grip they've had on specific ways of doing things that characterize orange and amber and red and so forth, all of which are stuck on this is the way to do things. With red, it's force. With amber, it's conformity to rules. And in orange, it's what works, what is effective. I'm oversimplifying a bit, but they are certain that their way is the right way, and green dissolves the grip to any one of those. Unfortunately for green, they have to go through what I call the zone of incomprehensibility. This is where you lose orientation to the way things for you are familiar, and you go through this passage in which you're dissolved. You lose the fixed frame of reference that you have in your life prior to landing on the other side, what Wilber and his camp call the momentous leap to second tier. Why is it momentous? Because the person is going from a state in which they've lost the ability to take a stand other than the stand that you shouldn't discriminate, which is, of course, a form of discrimination. They have to go from that stand of aperspectival madness, which, by the way, I call not aperspectival, omni-perspectival. Omni means everything. That's why they get disoriented. They can't sort things out because they're so busy being nice and accepting everything that they can't land on a value and take a stand and operate from that stand. So it's not that they lack a perspective, it's that it's too many of them. Too many perspectives. They can't choose one. And that's the disorientation they go through, which frees them from the grip of all the earlier first tier stages. And for Nicole, I'm going to I did summarize it. I said orange is about results, and amber is about conformity. That's like religious consciousness and thou shalt and thou shalt not. And red is about power, might makes right. You see? And each one of them is solidly convinced that theirs is the correct way. In green, they lose the grip on all of it. That sets the stage for them being able to take all of it in and finally to make discriminations, not based on one fixed set of rules, but on the rules that pertain to each level. So that's the momentous leap. It's the ability to open up enough that you can take in the different viewpoints, the different perspectives, see their virtues, see their shortcomings, and make right use of each in its proper time. That's the momentous leap. The reason they call it integral is because they're integrating all of what has come before and making intelligent use of all that's come before in its proper time and setting. The way Margarita was saying, there's a proper time to put up the link or to deliver the message. There's right usage. So now, in terms of the
Lorenz, can I interrupt you a little bit? You are doing a wonderful monologue, and it's confirming what I always thought about you, that you are really able to distinctively and with good words explain things really clearly.
Very clear.
While we are sort of sometimes getting lost and
Omniperspectival us.
no, lost in words. I specifically sometimes I don't find the right words, and not only because it's not my language, but anyway. I will come back to the question I asked you. Which level of development is your ideal client for these courses?
Okay, that was my next step in that rant of mine.
Yeah, no, because we are doing a conversation, so I have to stop you because otherwise you go on 2 hours. So
that's fine. That's fine. So,
but I could listen to you for 2 hours. So we in the group that actually can do that.
Yeah, we can, but it's not here. No, here we are. When he's doing his webinars, he can talk even 2 days. But here it's a conversation.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I laid the groundwork just then. For Nicole's sake, I explained the different stages, the different color schemes, and what those symbolize. Now, the work that I'm doing certainly would be appetizing to integral, because integral types recognize that change is the nature of existence, and they're open to recognizing where the shortcomings are and what new resources they haven't seen before might offer. That's just integral. Getting back to green, I said the problem greenies face is they lack discrimination. They get disoriented. They feel lost, and they feel ineffectual in life. That means they can't bring about high-level results very well. The orange is all about results, and the orange people recognize this is not working when it isn't working. And they notice that there are certain limitations that they're confronted with. And they're looking for a solution, because that's what orange does. Problem, solution. So orange is another good candidate for this work, for these tetraseed awakenings. Blue, not so much. Why? Because blue are generally contained within sets of rules and values that they operate within. That's the very nature of the amber or the blue. It depends on whose system. Is that they are relying upon the laws, the givens, the rules, the authorities for their well-being, because they don't have the mental capacity developed yet to develop original solutions to new problems. So instead they go to Scripture for the tried and true solutions. Only when they are on the verge of outgrowing that amber or blue stage do they start looking for the next one. They may be open to what I'm offering, the tetraseed awakenings or the intelligent empowerment courses. I'm not so hot on going after blue for that very reason. If they are that close to ready, fine. Then they're going to reach out for the message that there's a way of getting unstuck in life. The rest of them, they want to be stuck because that's their security for where they are. So orange and beyond.
Okay, thanks for the answer. There is Tom having two comments.
Great. Hi, Lawrence. I didn't mean to suggest that your approach was orange rather than green necessarily. And then he goes on after your explanation. Very well explained, Lawrence. I understand the distinctions better than ever from how you put it.
This is wonderful.
That's a great comment.
Yeah, thank you.
So I want to
this is really...
Okay.
And that is, I didn't take what you said as you were trying to peg me at orange, but remember that integral types may use any of them. So I may sound like orange at some time. I may sound like green sometimes. I might even sound like a blue or an amber sometimes.
Yeah, and a red, too. Yeah.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you.
Right.
And I do, because there's a forcefulness in me that comes out under certain situations that has a red edge to it.
Yeah.
And purple when you are in some magic dream.
Well,
Magic
you took into the tetraseed modulations, that is the stuff that's in my course.
Yeah.
The results seem almost magical.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And that's because magic is not wrong or false. It's just that some people are competent at it and some people, most of them, are incompetent at actual functional, what we would call magic. But it's a legitimate sphere of operation. You just have to be competent at it.
Yeah. I want to say to the watchers, you are not like the maga, the witch, being and reading the future. This is a different form of magic you are doing.
Yeah, okay. We're not talking about witches. However, I will tell you, maybe I shouldn't. I have a sense of humor, as some people may have noticed. Some people may doubt that. But I titled one of the procedures the spell maker and another the spell breaker. And there's another one called the wish fulfilling gem. The reason is because the results. That's all. They produce results that could appear to be magical, but actually we're just using the built-in faculties or abilities that every human being has, who uses all the time, but without using it consciously or knowingly. It's kind of automatically for them, or they inherited certain skills, but they don't know that this is what they're doing.
I identify with that.
Can I have a comment there? There's two words, magic, spell, and the wish-fulfilling gem. So there is an example of a spell. Most people know what the spell is. It's something that you're boggled with and you want to break the spell, right? So you tie in to the people's understanding of what the spell is to name your process, and then it's perfectly clear to them. The wish-fulfilling gem is from the, Buddhism. If you have it, you have incredible abundance. It's many stories of the wish-fulfilling gem. So I just wanted to make that comment.
See?
And spell, I think, is from the Yiddish spiel, which means a sales pitch.
Well, it actually means speech. In Germany, there's a magazine, Der Spiegel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is mirror.
Mm-hmm. Mirror. Oh, mirror. That's right. It's mirror, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Der Spiegel is a mirror?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sprechen. Sprechen is speaking.
Yes.
Okay. So I was wrong about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened.
Can happen, even as integral people are sometimes wrong.
She was wrong just yesterday in a really big way. But fortunately, I can't even remember it now because I process these things so quickly.
This is like wonderful.
So I have a question for you. What is above the orange?
Green comes after orange.
And then green, and then what after green?
After that, I don't know the colors. I think turquoise is next. That's the first stage of integral.
Yay!
There's turquoise, and there's teal, and I've read reference
Yellow,
to
yellow in
there's two systems. If you use spiral dynamics, you move from green into yellow. And then the second level of integral is turquoise. If you're following the Wilburine scheme, you move from green to teal and then to turquoise. So yellow and teal are
it's
the
just
same.
the colors, the
Yes.
names, they're different.
They were
I
named for
think
different
Ken
moments.
Wilber wanted, let's say Don Beck, who created the colors of spiral dynamics, just wanted to find a color which are not compromising, because he worked in South Africa. And so white and black shouldn't be there, and some other colors. So he just chose colors. While Ken Wilber wanted to adjust the colors to the spectrum of the chakras, as far as I know. So he changed some of the colors, but you know how you call them.
It doesn't matter.
See, one of the terms used in the integral is vision logic,
Yeah.
which was always a confusing choice of words to me. I would have flipped it around and say logic vision, that you have the vision to see the logic of things. But he chose vision logic. Is that one that goes into teal, or is that one in turquoise, Mark?
I'm not going to say. The way you described it made me wonder, that sounds like orange.
No, it's not.
But it's not.
It's the passage. It's the vision logic is, as far as I have
That's the
understood
first
it,
level.
is that you have the ability to look from above on everything, and then you are not in front of a wood and see only the first row of trees, but you are looking from above and see that after the first row is another row, and so on. And this is typically for integral stage of development, that you have the overview, that you are not stuck in one of these other levels, but you can see what else is there.
This would be yellow or teal. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so there it is. And
for me, it's the logic, a way of logic, because it's different. It's not anymore the sequence logic,
Linear logic.
It's more. I don't know how to say
Perspectival logic.
Yeah, perspective. Yeah, yeah. That's how I understand it.
It relates to the third eye chakra, maybe.
It's up there. The throat is. No, I don't want to get into that. No, it would be very confusing.
And we are over time. We have still our faithful watchers in the audience. But here is another comment from Tom. He is coming forth while the others are silent. He says, I could easily listen to Lawrence for 2 hours. So you come to his course. He will for sure do that.
And there you go. Yeah. So we got you one sign up, and we get our cut on that, right?
A cut of nothing?
I signed up already.
It's awesome.
I signed up already.
Okay, good. I wanted to say, he said we get a cutoff. So this is a mathematical question to Margarita, to you and me. What is half of nothing? If we get half commission, half of nothing is everything. So we got everything. What you get, Lawrence, and you won't get anything. So this is a koan, I guess.
but maybe we've said Nicole.
This is like saying that unasked for advice is worth the paper it's written on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nicole, come on.
A final word, Nicole?
Well, I'm just enjoying learning about all of this. It's very interesting, because all my years of studying energy, I'm loving. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you so much for taking the time to explain these colors to me, because to me it makes perfect sense, and I can relate it to all the years that I've studied in energy and the different levels. And you explained them in a way that validated what I've learned and what I see and what I feel. So I'll definitely be looking at your link to find out a little bit more about that for sure. I really enjoyed it, and yes, I could easily listen to you for 2 hours.
I think this is a prerequisite for Lauren's course. So.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Okay.
Margarita, last
She
word.
could zing me.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Well-
it depends on which eyes you're looking on a situation, right? So we can fly from here to here to here, and I relate very well to the chakras. So I'm thinking I was in the root chakra there and watching for survival. Nobody's going to click my link, right? That's fear, right? And then, oh, I want to get them. I want to get them. And then you're in your belly, right?
Really?
With
Yeah,
the navel
that's
chakra
red.
or something like that.
Mhm.
Or solar
Yeah.
plexus. Yeah, I got result. And then in the green, I have, oh my God, I hope they like this. It's in the heart, right? And then I have to talk very much so I can communicate, and that's in the blue here, the turquoise in the
Throat. Mhm.
this area, throat chakra, right? And then you come from here and looking down, and who shall I send my message to right now? Who is open to see it, And then the crown. Then you don't need to send a message because you're already there and you're all omniscient.
Omniscient.
Okay, you do telepathy with people.
Telepathy, yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Good. Perfect. Lawrence, yours.
Okay, well, just one thing came to mind. In terms of the welcome video we're going to put up for people who have enrolled in the course, I'm going to tell them, welcome, the course is starting right now. Here's your first thing, and I'm going to give them the video on what I call the tongue mudra. Now, tongue mudra, this ties in with what we've been talking about, coming from that sixth chakra. Tongue mudra has the effect of giving such a balanced view of things, and this is not a mental thing, it's a feel thing, that when you turn your attention either to your own inner workings or to the world, you see things that you could not see before because you were too close to the forest to see the whole forest. You were seeing only the trees. So looping back, that will be what people start with before the course. It's called the tongue mudra. It's an instructional video that guides people how to do it so that they can immediately start getting these internal changes that they would be coming into the course to have happen. And you don't need to think about anything. All you need to do is start doing the action pattern, and it produces a channel that goes straight into what some call the third eye or the sixth chakra, and it's not a mental thing, it's felt. And then it connects straight up into the crown chakra. It's an action that produces an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? A lot of the stuff that I've changed in myself, I've been able to do because I used it, that tongue mudra, myself, and discovered all manner of things going on in me I had no clue were going on, and in a moment's notice shifted them. So this is one of the things, the very first thing that I'm offering to people. I want people to learn, and you could even do it from here if we were just to put the link up into, let's say, a chat window in this Hangout.
Yeah, we could.
Would we do that, Margarita, from a marketer point of view before they sign up?
I think that the more you give of yourself and trusting the people, you give them something that they can use right away and see, yes, it works. They only want more.
Okay, so then the welcome video must be another one if you give it out before, or not?
Well, I think that if you say you were going to get just signing up, because it's a free series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? Yeah, so it's a free series. So in the first thing you're going to get is this exercise which you can connect your lower self with your higher self, something like that. That would be a good motivator, so sign up for it.
Good for spiritually intended people, which orange people, not so much. But
you have to find a reason for them to sign up.
Yeah.
I
You can
want to
get
say
results,
we are far over the hour.
Yep.
I wanted to say that on Thursday in our usual Connections Forum, we have invited Lawrence, and I hope some of the people who have worked with him will show up too. Maybe Lawrence, you can invite somebody with whom you had worked also one-to-one, so that we can give an experience report of what it is. I don't really think that you should do any process there, but talk about why it works, how it works, and have the testimonials of people who have done it already. And that's my intention for the Hangout show. I hope it will be like this. Otherwise, it's different. We will talk again. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. Here, Nicole, thank you for the courage to have come in and to have talked with us.
And thank you, Tom, for all your comments and the nice things you've been saying. Okay.
Yeah. And thank you, the other watchers. I know there are others out there who are not visible. Oh, God, here is Lucky Fortunata is visible here. And she wants to do the course with you, Lawrence.
And yes, please do what you can.
Yeah, and the last announcement I have to do is next week we won't have a gathering between us, but we will have backside Dawlabani for sort of Q&A session. He will talk a little bit about his topic, and then there is the possibility to ask questions, because many questions were not answered in his show last week, and we are using Crowdcast. I posted the link, so you can go in there. You need a social media account, Facebook, Twitter, or Google. This is the same, and you sign in there, and you can already ask the questions there. Put them down. So even if you cannot make it to see the session live, your questions can be answered as well. So this is a very good thing which we want to try out, because it's especially adapted for question and answer. And because you will find your answer, it will be time-stamped in case I don't forget to click on the right buttons. Yeah. Then you find the answer to your question with one click. So please come over, tell other people who might be interested in new economics for peace. So that's what we have to say for today.
Economics for resilience, for bouncing
by
back.
Natural resilience, and by natural design, Okay. Said Dawlabani is a follower of Don Beck, so he has the colors with blue and yellow and things like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Spiral dynamics.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. That's it for today. Bye-bye.
So long.